So we're going to introduce we have a penultimate closing ritual here for us in this space before we get rid of a breather and we move over to Whitley Auditorium for our closing keynote with our Office of Relationality. Maddie, would you like to introduce our next activity?
That's great. Thank you, Christina and Mira. That was awesome. And before we end our time in this space here, it's been super fun. And before we transition over to the next part of the day, I'm thrilled to welcome Katrina Mitchell on Zoom. Hello. She's going to guide us through our final Designing for Ritual closings. We're going to have the opportunity to reflect and also prepare for what's coming next. Katrina is a designer and researcher at Japigo. She specializes in creating sustainable healthcare systems, which is really cool. I was doing some research on kind of her work in that myself. It's very fascinating to me. But I'm super excited to celebrate the journey we've been on together. It's been so incredible to be here together throughout these 2 days, and it's time to make some space for the next chapter coming. So welcome, Katrina.
Hi. It's so great to be here with you remotely. And I just want to spend just a tiny bit of time talking about myself and then rituals in general, and then give the majority of our time left here to you to do the ritual with each other. So I work with people to use participatory design to facilitate change, and that's really broad. And I can say that my work often includes reflective making and embracing joy. And I really deeply believe that love is an access to human flourishing, and all my work builds on that idea. Let me see how can I get there. We go. All right, so before we get into our ritual itself, just a few words on ritual in general. And we've already, I think, experienced some rituals and talked a little bit about some of its cousins, habit and routine. But ritual has some special qualities. It presences awe, connection, and purpose. So we're looking for those kinds of three qualities: awe, connection, and purpose in ritual. It's a practice of pausing, of tending, and remembering. And it really helps us deepen our connection to ourselves, to each other, to the web of all of life, and to these greater essences, whether it's stardust, spirit, energy, whatever that greater essence is for you. In design, ritual has this role in that tending and creating of space, in that wondering and making together, when that is like live and real and good, you can feel those experiences of awe and connection and wonder. A ritual can be very brief, just a moment, a small blessing or remembering when we see a particular object or touch something that we have in our lives. Maybe it's just a special handshake that you have with your friend that helps bring back kind of that remembering of a particular time or moment. Might be something that's a daily practice for you. How you make coffee in the morning might be a ritual. Giving thanks before dinner in some cases can move us into ritual. It can mark a season or a special day or a place or a time or a moment, something that you return to again and again. Or it can be something that marks a threshold, like a rite of passage or a pilgrimage or a sacred journey. And I say that here, DesignForge has been that place of the sacred journey. It's a space of rich learning and connecting. And so we're going to use this ritual here to weave the threads of our time together into the fabric of our lives. So this closing ritual is going to connect this time and this journey and this community to those communities and conversations that we're going to return to. To remember this connection, you will find in that little envelope that hopefully you have at your tables, you will find a string in that envelope, and you can take it out and just hold it for a moment. You've got that out. Makes a wonderful crinkly noise through Zoom. So once you've got that and you're holding it, look around the room at the strings that others are holding, at the faces and the connections that you've made. For those of you online, just feel free to close your eyes and think of the string, think of these connections, maybe remember the faces that you met in the Zoom rooms, and just hold those connections in your mind's eye. For those in the room, you're going to connect, you're going to tie the string onto your wrist, letting it be a reminder of our journey together as we walk out into that world. So something that can help us bridge this time into the busyness of our regular lives. And then next, for the ritual part, we're going to this common thread that we have and hold between all of us, we're going to add our unique experiences. Oops. We're going to do that through three pieces, and we're going to break the Zoom into Zoom breakout rooms for those that are online, and for those in the room, you'll just do it within whoever's at your table is exactly the right people doing this ritual with. So first, you're going to take some time for self-reflection, just a moment or two, to think back to the beginning, all the way to the beginning. Maybe it was last year for you, as we heard for some, that you started to imagine yourself at DesignForge 2025. Maybe it was when you saw it on LinkedIn or something like that. You know, all the way through registering and organizing to get here, maybe the book club, all of the touches that you've had along the way to get here, and certainly our time together in these sessions. And you're going to think through those times when you're looking for three, what I call seeds, tiny moments. It could be something somebody said. It could be an image that represents for you something you want to hold and take with you out into your life. I'm going to give you a couple prompts that you can think about to get there, but you can also just use whatever really works for you. So you can think about a moment or a message, maybe a word or phrase that you heard. What is that word or phrase? You can think about something you saw or experienced, and then reflect on what did that stir in you? What was that internal stirring? Maybe a new connection or a deepened relationship, and think about how does that make you feel? For each of these little seeds, you're going to use the little tiny tabs that are also in your packet, and you're going to write just something. It doesn't have to be very much. Just something that might remind you. Here's like a little, sun, right? Something that might remind you of that moment. For those online, just a word or two that you're going to share as you reflect together that can pass along this seed to others. Then you're going to do your ritual sharing, and you're going to go around your group sharing your seeds, and you're going to share them in a particular way. So around your circle, you're going to say, remember we are, and then the seed that you want to bring forward. And the group is going to reply back to you, remember. We're going to practice this. I'm going to give you one, and you'll reply back to me with remember. So remember we are, ooh, ah.
Remember.
Thank you. You go around your circle and share your seed. Your seed can also be a song or a movement, just very short though. Once you're done with that sharing, you're going to exchange some seeds with each other. So you're going to give a seed and get a seed with each other. For those online, you'll think about which ones were shared that you want to bring with you, and maybe make a marker or something that will help you remember. then you can use those little tags and put them on your bracelet, on your piece of string. And you can bring those back out into the world, remembering your own, remembering some that others gave to you. So I'm going to end here, and you'll have the rest of the time to think about your seeds, do the remembering and exchange them. And we'll come back just for a very tiny moment before you move on to the next. I can hear a lot of great chatting and
yes. If it's all right, I'm curious if, however you want to, but if we all want to maybe say one of our, or those of us in the room and a couple of people on Zoom that might be interested and willing to share one of their tabs, one of their moments, one of their takeaways. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Do you want a popcorn? Do you feel comfortable sharing? And as you go towards the back of the rooms, please speak up because the speaker will have a harder time picking you up. Please, go for it.
Joy.
Possible future histories.
Ants. Ants again. Bonnie, you want to go?
Remember, we are curious and brave.
Wow, they wrote all that on the tab. Remember, we are curious
No,
and brave.
I wrote curious and brave, but I thought we were supposed to say, remember
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry, that's right.
Remember, we're ants, remember. So curious, remember, we are curious and brave.
Remember. Thank you.
One online. Raise your hand if you're willing.
Go for it, Ella.
I'm trying to wait for somebody else. I mean, mine were visual, but two of the visuals from the very first two sessions stood out to me. Remember starting from ways to be and going from that to ways to do, and remember practice feeling of joy and other things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else in the room?
In the room.
Eugene?
Sugar. Remember, we are sugar.
Remember, we are sugar. Remember, making music.
Remember.
Those of you joining us back, we're talking about closing rituals, and one thing we want to remember and hold on to. If any of you want to share one moment or time, you're welcome to. Anyone else in the room? Yes.
Remember, art plus engineering equals design.
Remember. Thank you. Well, thank you all. Thank you so much, Katrina, for our closing ritual. Anyone else on Zoom able to share?
No, it's okay. It's okay. You'll have it. Whatever you shared in your group is wonderful. I hope you had a rich experience there. I just want to give you a final blessing. This comes from a ritual practice that my mom gave me. So I'll give it back to you, and we'll for sure drop it for those online. But you have a little card in your folders. This particular set of rememberings has recentered me many times, and I often bring it with me just to remember who I am and where I'm from. And then I'll leave you with some more seeds if you're interested in just rituals in general, some books, as many have shared, lots of a few connections to design and spirituality. And if anyone wants to nerd out about design and spirituality with me, I'm always open to that conversation. And my email address was in the opening slide.
Thank you, Katrina. Can we give her a round of applause? Thank you so much.